Alrighty, fellas. At this point, it's like day 20, I think. But I'm gonna stop saying how many days because I'm gonna keep losing track. But it'll be on the title of the video, most likely. At least for a while, anyway. I'm not really until I figure out what other title I can come up with besides whatever this is, day number, whatever. Anywho, so today was a good day, a good freaking day. So the last 3 days were all really good, and actually today's not even over. It's 2:47, leaving the shop, $900 in the pocket, and I'm headed home with all of my calories left. So I got the Super Bowl and money in my pocket with plenty of food left to eat. So I have nothing to complain about right now. Absolutely nothing. This whole past weekend, and I know Friday doesn't count as part of the weekend, but I count it as part of the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday, $660 in the pocket in the bank. Yesterday, $700. Today, $900. I don't know. Let's do that math. 900 plus 700 plus 660. That's a $2,200, $2,260 actually. By the way, that's in a weekend. Again, no, it's not. Friday doesn't count as a weekend, but I count it. That was my weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, awesome. Today worked out pretty well actually because I had only had 700 scheduled, I believe, and then probably like halfway through it ish, I got a call asking if I had any availability today. Usually right off the bat, when it comes to something like that, I'd be like, no. Like, you're calling. It was morning, but it was still almost afternoon or noon. Sorry. During Sunday, whereas like my weekend appointments are usually taken beforehand. That's the first thing people want. And so usually when people call to get in the same day during the weekend, it's very unlikely. Plus, whenever I have a six-ish hour install in my shop at the moment, it's usually like, yeah, no chance. But I kind of took a look around and was like, I'm kind of flying through this car. I reckon I'll for sure be done by this time or even sooner. And then I was like, and I can throw a little bit extra on the price. If he bites, great. If not, I'm fine. Like, today was still a great day. Because he was like, just want it last minute. If you squeeze me in, whatever, blah blah. And so I was like, sure. Let me look around. Yeah, I think I can get you in at 2. If you can be here by 2 p.m., I'll knock that out for you. It'll take me right around an hour, and it's this price. Okay. Yeah, that works. Okay, all right. So 1:45. I had said 2, but I was like, yeah, 1:45, 2ish. If you can be here by the time, I'll do it. But just be here by 2, or I'm leaving. And so he comes through, and it's so interesting, like how predictable people are. Of course, it's like half and half. It's like some are late and some are early. But it's like the people that are early kind of almost not bother me more, but I'm curious more about them. It's like, how does that work in their head? Like, I told this guy 2. He repeats back to me 1:45. I kind of like go with it, but I repeat 2 again. And then rather than show up at 1:45, this dude shows up at 1:20. So like, I get rounding even like 15-minute increments, quarters of an hour increments. But this guy was a full 25 minutes off, and it's just like, what's the point? And he was also waiting on it, which we had talked about on the phone. And so it's just like, worked out great because I was ahead of schedule like I had previously thought, but I had also planned to down a couple rice cakes and chug of water so I could not be absolutely 100% dehydrated and with 0 carbs in my system, because I do have to work out later. And as far as I understand, depending on the food and the carbohydrates that you're consuming, your body, it takes a while for your body to actually be able to kind of put them to use. So like, let's say I fit in a shit ton of food right before my workout, and technically I'm carved up, I've consumed them. I think if I instantly go work out, but prior to that, previously, all day, I had not really eaten anything, I believe it would not be the same effect as if I was decently fed, even just remotely, and then I eat prior. I imagine my body would be more efficient and more effective with the way that it uses the energy that I have supplied it with for my workout. So anyway, that was the plan. And so he shows up early. I'm still feeling great. I knock it out in 30 minutes. Check him out. The first client, the first client comes to pick up his car right as I finish checking out the other guy. And so, boom, done. Basically finished the exact same time, or even earlier than I had planned to with one car, and I got another one in with extra, with an extra $150 in my pocket. So yeah, can't complain at all. And that's pretty much. I did have something I wanted to talk about, some sort of message, but it's not coming to me now. I just figured I would kind of, the same way I come on some of these, and I'm like, this is going wrong, and this kind of sucks, and working on this. The idea is to document all of it, the good, the bad, the boring days a little bit. It's just like, because whether you're somebody who wants to do this in the future, who's kind of going through something like this currently, I look over in my suction cup. Yeah, I think, I look over in my suction cup thing, like the red line was poking out quite a bit, showing that it's not locked on good. And I had just put it on because it always falls off, and I'm assuming I'm not supposed to just leave it on my windshield. It seems to be like with the temperature changes from hot to cold. If it just stays hot, I don't think there's an issue. But if it just stays cold, I don't think there's an issue. But I imagine, if I paid attention in class more about this particular subject, I'd probably understand it better. But I assume air might compress and expand as it gets colder and warmer. So I don't know. Anyway, the suction cup, when the temperature changes, falls off. And so I definitely didn't want dropping not even a really fancy camera, but for me, I don't do a whole lot of stuff. It's my only camera. And I did spend, for me, a decent bit of money on a camera. I didn't want it falling. So anyway, yeah, the idea is to document good, the bad. If you're going through something like this, to kind of show that, I'm right here with you. I have my good days, I have my bad days. If you kind of have the goal, then you can see transparently, you will have good days and bad days just like I will. Or if you're doing what I'm doing but not as well, then you can kind of might break some beliefs, like no chance somebody's making $700 off. I cannot charge that. Well, at one point I thought that. At one point I thought 300 was a crazy number. I was like, dude, like my charge. Anyway, just breaking those beliefs, seeing somebody doing better than you, and better than you is a bad word. It's just for lack of better words. I'm not doing better than you just because I can charge more for a job, but in this particular specific thing, assuming you want to make more money, the fact that I can charge more, I assume is better. So yeah, just again, if you're not there yet and you're doing what I'm doing and you want to do something like this, just being surrounded by someone or something that kind of breaks those beliefs and kind of pushes you in the direction that you want to go, all that stuff is good. And on the other end, if you're ahead of me in whichever topic or subject, then for me, if these ever get some views, then at that point people could be commenting down below and I could be learning from these, so then everybody wins. And it's just like all freaking cool. So that's that in terms of the install and in terms of the money coming in. And I guess we can kind of chat a little bit about how what my weight's been looking like. So it's Sunday today, and Monday I dropped my calories from 2450 to 2200. Not a big change, not nothing, but I would say it's on the more conservative side of things in terms of it's not that aggressive. But initially, like the first 2-3 days, I went from weighing like 159 to 160, like staying right in there, 159, 160 every morning, to weighing 157. Now, two things. Those first 3 days, I also happened to stay home. I didn't work those days, and I slept in. I worked from home. I didn't work at the shop, but I slept in. And so sleeping in, I don't know if you guys know why you lose weight throughout the night and whatever, but basically, as you breathe, you are breathing out moisture. So literally, over the course of hours, you are losing weight from the moisture evaporation that you're exhaling. Two, as you get up throughout the night, or maybe wake up and you urinate, and then also the other way you could use the bathroom. So anyway, the longer I sleep, the more that happens. And two, I wake up several times throughout. There was one night this week where I woke up 6 times to take a piss. Not to be TMI or gross anybody out, but 6 times is pretty crazy. So I imagine that can make my weight fluctuate a little bit. And on top of that, whenever again, not to be TMI, but this is stuff you kind of have to know. or it's good to know, because if you're somebody super fixated on weight, for one, you shouldn't be, because it can fluctuate for a lot of reasons, and two, that's why I'm sharing. Just to show you, like, 3 pounds, nobody gains or loses 3 pounds overnight. It's, like I just mentioned, could literally be like fluids that you drink, could be food literally in your body still, could be, even if you're like, I took as many pisses as I could, I went to the bathroom, I'm emptied out, but I weigh more, you don't weigh more, your body can store that food after it's broken down into your muscles, like in terms of like glycogen and whatever and stuff like that. So it's just, anyway, so I imagine those 3 days that I woke up and that I slept in, and I had used the bathroom plenty, and had slept in, and also used, the bathroom again, that I imagine that's why I'm a little bit lighter. Now, it seems like I've kind of fluctuated, because when I work at the shop, when I have a car scheduled, I shower, get dressed, go to the shop, I don't have time to like really use the bathroom, all that sort of stuff. So I always weigh a little bit more on days like that. It's just because I hadn't used the bathroom. So these past 3 days, I've been weighing 158 in the middle-ish, like 158.2 to 158.7. So I imagine, actually having gone through the bathroom and whatnot, I'd probably be still at 157. So my weight has gone down a little bit, but I still have just that little bit of fat that I'm trying to get rid of. It's definitely thinning out, but it's kind of like annoying, because initially you get that like big change, like that initial just like, I'm not as bloated, like just initial slimming of your body rapidly from those first 2 weeks, and then it slows down, and then it's almost like the more it slows down, the more it slows down. Like the leaner you get, the less differences you see. So that's unfortunate, because I'm already like 157, 158, and that's already really small. Like, that's pretty small. And to think that I might have to lose a couple more pounds to like get really lean. And the point, I don't want to be lean. I want to be lean so I have a good starting point for my bulk, for my surplus. And so I'm just really looking forward to gaining weight, but I want to do it right and be patient. So anyway, that's what my weight's looking like. Drop my calories, my weight's dropping. Drop my calories, even if the weight wasn't dropping. Let's say it's staying the same, also watch the mirror. I'm slimming out. It's not all just weight or mirror. It's just a lot of factors, and it's just okay to see plenty of variance between all of that stuff. So I just want to be clear on that. Man, there was really like a topic I was thinking of earlier. I forgot what I was listening to. I think it was literally a song, and it kind of just made me really think about how I again, like, perceive things, my perspective on things, and I wanted to share that, but I don't remember what song it was. But yeah, I think it might have just been Superstar. If you are what you say you are, a superstar, have no fear, the camera's here, or whatever it goes like. It was really making me feel like, and it always does, where it's just like factual, because the way I was recently exposed to it, of course, I've seen it, it's a very big song and I've heard it before, but the way that I was recently exposed to it and really kind of put on it was, if you're a UFC fan and you watch Sugar Sean O'Malley, he walks out often, or recently has walked out often to Superstar, where it says, if you are what you say you are, a superstar, have no fear, the camera's here, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, yeah, if you say what you say you are, you shouldn't be scared. And so I think that, I don't know, for some reason that made me think something, because, personally, again, I don't know if I've just always been super competitive, or I just always think of myself some sort of way, which is also kind of funny, because I also like humble myself the most. Like, I'll also look in the mirror and talk the most shit to myself, and that's probably some of the most motivating stuff. How I mentioned, like, in a previous video, was like, I really like this one like photo where it's like supposed to be like comforting nature or whatever, and it's like you're exactly where you're supposed to be. It's just text over, like I said, it's like really nice, pretty nature, just like, it's like, relaxing. And then it's like underneath it's like, because you make terrible fucking decisions. And so it's just like that self accountability of like being able to like shit on yourself, in other words, is kind of what keeps me in check personally. And so, yeah, like, in my head, I have this way that I think about myself. I have this way that I think about who I'm going to be and what I'll achieve and stuff like this. And then I'll find moments where I'm like hesitant, scared, like lazy, like literally just lazy. And in that song was like, if you say what you say you are, have no fear. It doesn't have to be fear. It could be have no whatever it is. Like for example, today, this is a perfect example, and I think it actually had to do with me saying yes to this dude. Probably now I look back at it. I'm in the middle of the car. I'm like, man, I'm flying through this. I'm making whatever $700 off this job. I don't know what I'm actually making. I'm charging $700 from this job. Gonna get home and you know, watch the Super Bowl, hang out with friends or family, get some food, like all this stuff. Excited to go home, you know. And then it's like I get a call for two windows that, you know, it's not always as fast. But looking back, all said and done, took me 30 minutes and an extra $150 in my pocket. Actually, so it was today 950. No, I guess it was 650 and the 150. So that would be seven. Is that 800? Oh, I don't know. Now I'm lost. Anyway, but yeah. So instead of like, if you are what you say you are, have no fear, it's like, instead of being lazy and going home because like that's how I'm feeling, it's like, if you are who you say you are, then you fucking say absolutely, come through. I'll kill it. I'm already here. I got everything set up. Just show up at this time. I'll knock it out for you. And I got an extra $150 in my pocket. Simple as that. If you are who you say you are, if I am who I think that I am, then why would I not say it? And so that's kind of goes hand in hand with which I really need to cut this because we're already at 22 minutes and I want to hit a lift later and probably document at least about maybe even the lifts. I imagine nobody's really going to be there with the Super Bowl going on, but we'll see. And I want to document it because I am precisely 45 days in of tracking macros and hitting the gym. I started both on the exact same day. I started tracking the macros, tracking my weight, and hitting the gym all on the same day. I did it all at once. Anyway, but yeah, now we're getting into a full-on ramble, so I'm going to cut it after this. That goes hand in hand with like, if you kind of can live your life as if like there's a documentary being filmed about you and like there's just a camera following you everywhere and like they get your highlights but they also get your lows or whatever. And so it's like every time that somebody is more likely to do something because somebody is watching, one, like it's just best not to, but regardless, if it gets you to do the thing that gets you to whatever your goal is, then it works just the same. It's healthier obviously to do it for yourself and not because somebody's watching, but to imagine somebody's watching, maybe it's that somebody, maybe it's somebody specifically that you're like, oh, I'll show them, like they're watching. But like where people, because you know people always say like, are you gonna do the extra work when nobody's looking? Like, are you have all the excuses. It's late. I haven't eaten. I had to work on this and this. Blah blah blah. And the weather's terrible. I'm not gonna go on my run today. Whatever it is. I'm not gonna go on my run today. Yeah, that's valid. It really is. It absolutely is valid. But when you go, because you go, that's telling you that you are different from the rest. That if you think that you have been different from the rest, this is proof that you are different from the rest that will take all of those reasons, validly so, if that even makes sense, if that's even the correct word to use there. Despite all that, you go. It's the same thing. And so whenever you can kind of live your life thinking or just kind of imagining like, yep, the camera's watching me right now. I gotta show up for the camera. I gotta whatever else for the camera. Let's go fucking do it. It's just like, yeah, it's just better. And that's what I'm saying. Kind of goes hand in hand. It's like, it's almost like if you are who you say you are, have no fear. Or if you are who you say you are, stop being lazy. If you are who you say you are, stop whatever. Or if you are who you say you are, start doing that. It's just like, if you are who you say you are, from there, whatever works for you. Then that camera recording, if it's you watching that camera later on, it's like, you said you were this and this and this, and here you are being a lazy little. You said you were, and here you are. So I mean, it doesn't have. I mean, it could be whoever. It could be you in the future. You imagining yourself in the future watching that footage of the documentary of you currently and going like, yeah, me in the future would be like, you're so full of it. Like, oh, you get the idea. So, anyways, 3:13, done with the work, with the yap session, food, Super Bowl, gym. See you guys, for you guys, in a bit. For me, a couple hours. All right, guys. Who could have guessed it? My assumption was absolutely correct. The gym is completely empty, so I get to document my lift. All right, So we're picking up at the same place that we started on last week. So warmed up a little bit. I'll be honest, today I'm not feeling as good as I was last week. Last week I felt like the warmth was better. I warmed up pretty good, and my elbows are still kind of bothering me a little bit. Usually with a good bit of like, tricep warm up and whatnot, not heavy at all, just like actual movement. It would warm up, but still bothering me a little bit, and I didn't want to do too much because then at that point then my triceps are starting to fatigue. Anyway, so starting off with the same weight as last week, 175, just see how I'm feeling with it in my hands. And today's also one of the days where I'm struggling, where I'm getting really fixated on my form. It just feels off, and then I'm so focused trying to fix it that just pressing the weight even feels weird now. Whereas last week, it's almost like locked in. Even though my form wasn't the best, I was fixated on it. So anyway, this week I'm feeling fixated. It feels like at the start of the lift. So if things look a little funky, that's why. But I'm gonna try my best, get a good workout in. I also was fasted until probably about 6 p.m., maybe just after. So yeah, not a whole lot of time for my body to really replenish its fuel storages that I can have a good lift with. But we're still gonna do the best we can, and it's still gonna be a great day. So I'm gonna finish it with a good lift, try my best, and see how it goes. During the warm up, so I normally go thumbless, like this, and during the warm up, I went thumb around. I just don't. It wasn't helping. So I'm just gonna stick to what I know. A little bit that I lifted it, honestly don't feel that heavy in my hand, so hopefully it goes well today. Form's still feeling super iffy, especially in the left shoulder. I feel like it's not going up evenly in terms of speed. One hand goes up faster than the other. And also, I'm always a little bit crooked. So, that's annoying me right now. But, one other thing. I'm gonna keep this weight. I'm not gonna go up 185 like I did last week. I don't feel as strong. And I also forgot to mention, in this specific clip, I cut my calories by 250 this entire week. So, feeling a little bit weaker, I'm assuming just because of how today's feeding went, how I fed myself today. And also just, I literally had, 250 times 7 is over 750. I don't know, whatever. I have less food in my system throughout the week. So, probably gonna do this for a couple more sets. I'll do this for 2 more sets, see if I can kind of get comfortable with this weight. I almost do better the more I go in. So 2 more sets, and I'll probably do a top set of 185. So I don't have much storage left on this SD card, so I'll just see you guys for whatever the top set is. Hope this lighting looks cool. Alright, quick update. Bench felt pretty bad. Like, in the chest felt really good actually. Like, oddly enough, like, it was actually feeling really good in the chest. But it just felt really bad just in general, like shoulders, elbows, everything else. And I really didn't want to not risk anything. It's not like I go super heavy or anything. You just never know. Felt uncomfortable, multiple areas. Just felt weak in general, but the chest felt good. So keeping the chest pump going, moved over to flies. Ended up doing just 3 of those sets for 175, which did end up being pretty heavy for me. The last set I was only able to get 5 out. So I'm gonna keep pushing. Hit this set of flies. Go back to probably like an incline pressing movement, probably on Smith machine. And then probably finish with like another just like burnout flat press on the just the press machine. We'll see. More likely that's what's gonna happen. for the longest time, I really struggled with this, with like the machine fly. With the machine flies, I can never feel it. And now it's like I'm feeling it too much, but more of like a burn rather than like an extreme fatigue. Like, you know when you're doing leg extensions, it's just burning like crazy, but at that point it's just kind of like a pain or like a discomfort tolerance thing, where it's like you can keep going, it's just like extremely uncomfortable. That's kind of how it is with this. It's like I'm kind of learning, because I never felt it before really. I would do it a lot, and I like, afterwards I'd feel like the chest is getting pumped, I'd feel sore, all that sort of stuff, but during the movement I wouldn't feel very stimulated. Now, it's like, I can do like a light set, and it's like, man, that burns. But I go heavier, and I can still do it. Now, on a lot of those, I wasn't closing all the way, but I'm more so focused on my, because here I'm still squeezing even though it's not closed all the way. I don't want to force myself to close all the way and like punch or like stuff like that. So I don't know, it's feeling good though. So, again, I don't have much freaking storage on this, because I've been recording a whole lot of content at the shop, just so I can make like videos with later on. So, yeah, I'll probably just see you guys in the next movement. If anything, I want to record what I'm looking like, even though the pump is probably going to be mid, going to negative VDX. But even though I'm not expecting the best pump, I want to record the pump pretty well, considering today is 45 days of whatever it is that I'm doing. I guess I'm cutting, since I need to into a deficit, or recomping. So it's 45 days in, and I want to see what I look like today. I want to document it. More than likely, I'm just going to go all the way to the 60, and then hopefully I'll be ready to start going back up, because I'm really ready. Not even for the food side of things, but I'm just ready to like approach my lifts differently. Because it's like, I started lifting again, and it's like I'm excited to get stronger again, get back into it, get in shape, but it's almost like I'm fighting myself because I'm losing weight. So it's like, I am getting stronger initially, but very slowly, and then as you saw last week, I got stronger. This week I cut my calories more, and I'm getting weaker again. So it's just almost like counterintuitive. It's like you start something, and you're like ready to get better at the thing, and technically I am, because my goal isn't to lift more weights, but obviously like that's always fun. So then it's like, I'm not getting better at the lifting weight side of things, and my body's doing what I'm wanting to do. So anyway, I'll see you guys on incline press, incline Smith. Alright, we are back. Got the bar loaded up. First set of incline Smith. Not much to say. Let's get to it. Oh, man, I'm way weaker today. Relatively. He's looking. Can't always get the perfect lighting. Continue. So this is what we're looking like. Pretty small, pretty skinny. And what's discouraging is there's still a little ways to go. Not much going on here anymore. There's really not much to grab. If I like relax and I kind of hunch, then yeah. But as I just stand here, there's really not much to grab here. Now, we turn around to the back. Got a little bit going on here. Not much, but I wouldn't say I'm done taking care of this. Like this, completely standing normal. There's still plenty here to grab. So anyway, And what I notice on my abs is even though this bottom section is kind of thinned out, this has two, but this is just the only part left right here. This is what is stopping my abs from looking really defined. This is plenty deep, and like these cuts are coming out again, but you can see this cut stops right there. That's because it's just a little bit of fat right there, which is interesting because it's like all of this, not much fat at all. Here, no fat. Like literally, that's where we can see the cut, and then just a little bit here and a little bit there. But let's continue. Chest is looking decent. Not big in any way, but and then these vacuums are gonna be hard. My stomach is not hurting, but I can feel the hot sauces. Here's the other thing. It's just standing here. As I inhale and exhale, I can see this part of my abs out, like the sides, which was hidden for the longest time. So I feel skinny, and I am skinny, and I'm small, but there's just a little bit of fat left to go before I can really start to pump it back up. Got a decent bit of vascularity going on today, I assume because of the pizza and all the wings and the fries and so, yeah. I mean, some days I just feel like a beast, and I'm like, oh. Today, I feel like I'm seeing some of the shape come back. Shoulders, arms, a little bit of the chest. My waist is tightening up, making my, just getting a little bit of the shape back. But I mean, this is, and I don't know, I have to see how it looks on camera, but if I look big, it's deceiving. It's just the cuts. I mean, I'm like thin right now, like oh yeah. I mean, now that I'm seeing this after like a meal like I had earlier, I'm really not thinking this goes another 2 weeks. And if it does, and I just have the tiniest bit here, I'm gonna have to be okay with it. Like if that's like the kind of fat that I've got to get like ridiculously lean to get rid, I have to get ridiculously lean to get rid of, then we're just gonna have to move on. Because then we're gonna be skin and bones, lose all the muscle, whatever. Alright, that's enough of that. Not feeling super cool today, not feeling super jacked, but it's cool to see. Hopefully finish 2 more weeks of this, and then 60 days from that I can look back